If a genie asked you which devil fruit power you'd like and your answer was yes, you'd get the Ope Ope No Mi cause this fruit is just random. However, if we were to quantify all the powers of the Ope Ope No Mi, they'd come under 3 categories: the Operation Room skills, advanced offensive abilities, and finally, the Awakened techniques. Now the Operation Room skills include amputation, which Law uses to sever body parts of foes without even drawing a drop of blood. Next is Shambles, which switches positions of 2 objects in the blue room instantly. However, the size of the objects determine how much power it would cost Law to swap them. Another Operation Room skill is Tact. It is a very simple but useful technique that helps Law make things levitate. And speaking of simple, scanning was another not very talked about tool in Law's room arsenal. It helped him scan every tiny object inside the room and determine its location. And finally, one of the finest skills, Knife. It's kind of an extension to amputation, but it's more refined, which allows Law to extract organs of a person without hurting him. Now on to the advanced offensive abilities, one of which is Radio Knife, which allows Law to amputate his foes while actively preventing them to rejoin their limbs. It's a special skill he learned to counter Logia opponents. Next up, Counter Shock. To use this technique, Law places both his hands on the chest of an opponent and runs electricity through them. Shocking to say the least. Another skill in the Ope Ope arsenal is the Injection Shot, wherein Law uses his sword like a sniper and thrusts it to pierce the foe's defenses. And last of the advanced abilities is the Gamma Knife. Law creates a short glowing blade which pierces all defenses of an opponent through gamma radiation and destroys their internal organs. Now the Awakened techniques could be divided into 2 categories: the Kuri room and the remote room. The Kuri room basically makes Law's blade act like a room in itself. Its first ability is Anesthesia, which allows his blade to pass through an opponent without hurting them, which is immediately followed by Shock Willy, which blends electricity in the sword, frying the opponent's internal organs. And as for the final move, it's called the Puncher Willy, wherein Law extends his blade deep into the ground, pinning his opponent with it, as he did with Big Bomb. And finally, moving on to Remote Room, it basically allows Law to create a room detached from himself at a distance and use all other room abilities in it. But there's one final trump card the Ope Ope No Mi users hold, and it's the Perennial Youth Operation. However, this would result in their own death while the patient gains immortality.